That bullpen has been active for the Sharks, and another new pitcher coming on for Martha's Vineyard. It's the big, tall right-hander, William Wallace from Pomona Pitzer University, 6'5", 200 pounds, native of Portland, Oregon. And for his 7th appearance on the season, his last time out was last night against Keene. In game 1 of that doubleheader, he pitched 2 scoreless innings, just gave up 2 hits, went through the order 1 time, and brought that ERA down, which he's done consistently since he struggled in his first couple of times out. Pitched in a blowout game against Ocean State way back last week, and that was really more of a mop-up role. When he's pitched in close games, though, he's been decent, so Sharks certainly hoping for a good outing out of the rising sophomore from the West Coast.
Yeah, you would hope that, after Cleary had a bit of a shaky ending of work, that Wallace can kind of steady the ship here, because for the Sharks now, you enter the bottom of the 6th. You don't want that deficit to grow any greater than 3. So you're really hoping for a quick, efficient inning from Wallace. And you don't want to look too far down the road, but, ideally you'd like if Wallace can go a couple of innings so you don't have to keep using those bullpen arms, especially like you said, with Martha's Vineyard facing a situation where it's their 5th game in 3 days compared to the Gulls who haven't played since Saturday.
Well, last night was the first time that Wallace had completed more than 1 inning. He had gone past the first 2 times before that, so probably unlikely that he'll pitch more than 1 inning tonight on back-to-back days of work. But he's been reliable from the D3 powerhouse, and he throws in a hard fastball that rips by the right-handed bat of Duncan. 9-1-2 due up for the Gulls in this half inning. Duncan, Breeny, and Stevens, the 3 to the plate, 3 good hitters. Duncan has reached base both times tonight, singled his last time up. The 0-1 pitch, check swing, did he go? No, he did not. 1-1. And Wallace, when he was in high school, Portland, Oregon, like we mentioned, you probably can't get that many other places. He was on the ski team.
Yes, and the soccer team.
Soccer is a little bit less.
I know, but that's
I know you're
quite
a
the
big
combination
soccer
there.
guy. 1-1, strike called. Most of the time I would say, how does that clash with schedules? Soccer is most of the time in the fall for high school. I would have to wonder when skiing is. I assume it's winter, but I'm sure you can probably find snow any time of the year in some mountains. Mount Hood out in Oregon, one of the premier ski destinations. 1-2 pitch, rings him up. Curveball caught him looking. Duncan goes down for the first time today, 1 out.
Now, while we got some time in between at bats, just going over some of the scores throughout the night. North Shore took both games of the doubleheader against Upper Valley. First game going into extras. The second game just ending an 8-0 win. In the top of the 8th, the Mainers are 3-2 lead over the Westerners. The North Adams and Vermont game got postponed. Another game postponed for Vermont.
You gotta be kidding.
Ocean State and Mystic tied at 1 at the bottom of the 7th.
Wallace fires in a ball outside on the 0-1 pitch. 1-1 count now to the leadoff batter, Nico Breeny, who's reached base all 3 times. Had that 12-pitch at-bat last time he came to the dish. 6'5" righty, dishes up high.
And then the other game that is not this game, Keene Swamp Bats have a lead over the Valley Blue Sox 4-3 in the top half of the 7th.
Blue Sox chasing a playoff spot. Keene loses of 2 straight after their doubleheader sweep against the Sharks last night. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. 2-2.
I believe Nico wants him to check with the first base ump.
They did check, and he confirmed
did?
it. And there you go. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Nico Breeny. Breeny only continued to raise that average tonight. Came into this game hitting .311 on the season. Wallace's 2-strike pitch. Curveball struck him out. Back-to-back Ks. Catches Breeny looking, and he'll head back to the bench for the first time tonight.
That is just disgusting.
Well, I know a little earlier in the broadcast, we talked about Pomona Pitzer and how it's a D3 powerhouse. William Wallace looks better than plenty of the D1 pitchers I've seen this summer throughout the NECBL. This guy can sling it, and only given up runs in 2 of his 6 appearances. So looking for another scoreless inning here tonight in the bottom of the 6th. Now he faces Nolan Stevens, who certainly won't make that an easy task. He has struck out 2 times in 3 trips to the plate. And a fastball at the knees called for a ball.
Well, going back to your point, I feel like several of the D3 and D2, mainly pitchers in this league, are the best from those ranks. They're here for a reason, and they also have a chip on their shoulder because they want to prove that they can compete with the best of the best at the D1 level, going up against guys like Nolan Stevens, who plays at a powerhouse in the SEC in Mississippi State.
Strike called. And yeah, like you mentioned, when guys come to the NECBL or even the Cape Cod League, 2 of the top leagues in the country from D3 schools, they are the best of the best. These guys are elite. 1-1, looping curveball, rips outside. 2 balls, 1 strike.
And we've seen a similar situation with Drew DeLucia, who's not a D1 guy, and he said it himself. It took a bit to get adjusted to this level, but he's been doing great as of lately.
Now Wallace, a lot of confidence on the mound, and he throws the ball awfully hard, delivers a ball that rips through the zone at 90 plus. 3-1. Bottom of the 6th inning. It's a divisional battle. The last time the Sharks head to Cardines. 3-1, swung on and missed. Fastball through the zone. Fills up the count to the lefty hitter Stevens. Packed house at Cardines, and more often than not, when they've been here in numbers, the Gulls have picked up wins. Payoff pitch. Ripped out to left center field, and drifting towards the line, it slices foul. And that ball started at the left field wall and turned all the way over towards the bullpens.
You see Ty Stark and
Kovala.
That was Kovala. See them trying to plead a case of fair.
They were all signaling for it. Look at the umpire having a good laugh there, the third base ump in Joseph Hilton.
You do anything you
Along
can
with
to
Ted
try and
Regan.
help your team out. So Wallace is going to get another chance. That ball was tattooed off the bat from Stevens, but he just spins it, gets right across it, and sends it toward the wrong side of the foul line. 3-2 the count. Wallace comes set at the belt, fires home, ripped into center field on a line, and it drops in front of Martin for a base hit. And Nolan Stevens prohibits Wallace from striking the side out. He's on first with a single. That brings Dixon Williams to the plate.
I don't know about you guys, but I want to see the exit velo on that swing.
Oh, yeah, that one was hit hard after he squared up the pitch before, and it just sliced foul. He did not miss a second chance.
That was definitely fair.
And you want to test yourself as a D3 guy? Oh, Wallace sails a fastball all the way to the backstop, and looking at his fingers, that ball must have slipped out. So easily into second base, Nolan Stevens.
I guess you could say Wallace tested himself with that
Yeah.
iffy pitch.
You want to give yourself a test, though. As I was mentioning, Dixon Williams is the guy to do it against. Leads all of the NECBL in batting average. That average up over 400. And 0 for 2 tonight with a walk. He came around to score the one time he was on base. A ball, no strikes. Wallace's pitch spiked in the dirt and somehow pulled away by Lance Triple behind the plate. That ball was right at the shoestrings for Dixon Williams, left-handed hitter in a hitter's count. He's a tough out. I'd love to see the numbers when he's ahead in the count. 2-0 pitch, popped up, drifting foul out onto America's Cup Ave.
You nailed it. There's a lot of those. We have had a few instances where we've actually gotten the report that a foul ball has cracked a windshield of just an innocent car driving by.
Yeah, it's a
bound to
dangerous
happen.
area to be on game night.
Very.
Wallace comes set, working from the stretch, fires home. Popped up towards center field, tailing away from Martin, out towards Zambo in left. He settles under it, makes the catch on the run, and finishes the inning off. So Wallace tosses a scoreless inning. Had to go through Nolan Stevens, but still 5-3, the Gulls on top on ESPN+. That Vermont dugout has done such a good job so far of hitting Brian Young, but he's looking to toss up another 0 in this 4th inning. 8-9-1 coming to the plate for the Mountaineers. Knox, or I should say Manley, Bishop, and Gannis, the 3 to face the left-hander. There you see some fun and games. They've made baseball look fun a lot this summer. And so have the Sharks with this high-flying offense in July. We talked about second time to the plate now for Andrew Manley, a 175 hitter coming into the playoffs. He grounded out to the right side his first time. Really one of the few Mountaineers that hasn't been on base in these first 3 innings. He gets his second crack at it right here. Left-on-left matchup where Young excels, and that one's driven out to right field. Looking up at the wall is Mills, and he's going to watch it over the fence. Andrew Manley adds on one more. It's 6-1, Mountaineers on top.
First pitch crushing for Andrew Manley. And look, we kind of mentioned it a little bit before that while he has not been hitting the ball as often as maybe some of the other guys in this lineup, when he makes contact, it is a big and important contact for Vermont. His second home run of the summer, a no-doubter over that right field wall, 100 miles an hour off the bat of the Wofford Terrier. And that's the last thing you want to start this bottom of the 4th inning. One pitch, another run across after your offense has now gone 3 straight scoreless.
Well, Brian Young left one center cut and gets burned. 6 runs on the board for Vermont in quick succession, and now the 9-hitter Casey Bishop to the plate. Bishop was third baseman for today's action. He's got 2 strikes on him quickly. Young comes back with the 0-2. It's popped up to center field. Martin's going to have a play on it easily. He settles and makes the catch for the first out. So a nice bounce back from the righter lefty.
That's one that Bishop just got a tad under. It was near the lower third of the zone and just popped it up. Still put a pretty good ride on that ball. It's so tough to get a hit anywhere out near that graveyard, we'll call it, in center field here in Montpelier. But going back to that home run, Vermont has 7 hits on the day. 5 of them are extra base hits, and that is something that Vermont normally doesn't do in a game. They're a team that, like we mentioned, has played the small ball. Tyler Gannis showed bunt to start this game, then ripped the double down the left field line. But that just goes and attests to how dominant this team was during the entire regular season.
Another one out to Martin. He's busy in this inning. He makes another catch, and now 2 quick outs. Gannis flies out in his third at-bat, the first time that he won't reach base for the first time in this game. And now that bullpen is active for the Sharks. Colby McNeely up and throwing. And he's yet to go into a full pitch, just tossing with the bullpen catcher down there. So now it'll be Josiah Ragsdale. He's 1 for 1 with a double. He sends one out to left field. Scott Seeker giving chase. It drops foul.
Going back to that point, just to finish up the conversation about Vermont just as a whole, it really attests to how dominant they were, where they can go from a team that plays the small ball, steals a bunch of bases, gets bunt singles, brings guys home on productive ground outs or ABs, and then they at the same time can go out and have a day like this where they've got 5 extra base hits and 6 runs.
Maybe the last guy you'd expect to put one over the wall, too. Just 1 home run for Manley this season in the dirt from Young.
Yeah, I think Andrew Manley kind of likes playing against the Sharks. You look at it, he had 7 hits on the year coming into the day. 2 of them were against Martha's Vineyard in that doubleheader. Hit number 3 was one that went over that right field wall.
1-1 is grounded foul. Both pitchers' pitch counts getting up there. Brian Young now at 70. You can see right there on your screen. But facing another lefty, whenever Brian Young faces a lefty, there's always a chance for a K. He comes set at the belt, turns and fires home. Another ball grounded towards the Vermont dugout. And they brought down some drapes over there for the home run celebration. Not sure what that was about. Maybe you can clue us in, but that was pretty cool.
Well,
had some drapes over the dugout fencing.
The drapes are normally used when they start getting ready for the game, but I don't know, I think they may have forgotten their home run lobster hat. It's actually funny you bring that up. It was on the trip to Martha's Vineyard to start the year. Yo-Yo Sanchez, who was the first base coach earlier today, I believe now it's Aiden Wright out there at first. He went out, bought a lobster hat before the ferry ride, said he was going to wear it around the bases when he got his first home run. I'll finish the story on the other side of the break. It's a good one.
Strike 3 called from Young. He gets out of the inning, gives up one more, but we're through 4. It's the Mountaineers on top, 6-1 on ESPN+.